Midgard. How I've missed the freezing gusts and constant raider attacks.
Well, that's because they believe Kratos is responsible for Fimbulwinter, and that killing him will end it.
Where would they get an idea like that?
From me, of course.
Of course. We should get down to the wolves, brother.
Come. Quiet. She is a friend. Now.
Better they get this from you. Once the wolves have the scent of the Norns, we'll just need to follow their lead.
I will open the gate. Stop whining.
Their fur is matted. When did you last brush them?
They are wolves.
And matted fur leads to disease. Take care of them and they'll take care of you.
Brother, what exactly do you intend to ask the Norns?
How I may find my son. Nothing more.
You don't imagine it's a chance to clear up all this mess about prophecy? Perhaps get a second opinion on your alleged demise.
You didn't tell me you had a death prophecy?
When Atreus and I reached Jotunheim, we found a hidden mural. The giants, Faye herself, had foreseen our entire journey long ago. Who we would meet, who we would fight. All of it, as it happened.
But you aren't dead.
That image was from a time yet to come.
I see. You've never struck me as someone who fears death. That's not the problem, is it?
No. Death can have me when it earns me.
Then maybe it's not the future that bothers you. Faye sent you on your journey, and she made sure you'd see that image at the end of it. And you're still not sure why.
I wish to speak of this no further. Now that we are on the lake, how will we find the Norns?
Watch the wolves closely. See how their heads point the way?
Well, the Lake of Nine has certainly seen better days. Raiders have made themselves quite at home. Not sure I've been back to these parts since our great battle with Secren.
She speaks highly of that fight as well.
You know of that.
She told me all about it when she found you. She believed you could be an ally. Long before I believed.
Enough. We will continue later.
It is a rather comforting thought, isn't it? Knowing the Valkyrie Queen is on our side.
The Valkyrie Queen. An ally.
I'm the Valkyrie Queen, as Sigrun was stubbornly determined to remind me.
I should have guessed it was Secret helping you recover yourself. He's so loyal. Why? Clever. Oh.
Doesn't take a love goddess to see where you're coming from. Isn't that the spear from Tyr's statue?
Wish for peace. Be ready for war.
Oh, that's astute of the elves. Tyr never sought war, but he knew he had to be ready for it.
Aye. Best be armed than not. Impressive looking weapon, isn't it?
It is big. This thread of fate we are tracing.
It's not somebody's life, if that's what you mean. The Norns use it to mark their way when they're outside of the well.
The Norns live in a well.
No. The Well of Earth, their home, is hard to explain. It's in no fixed place. Entrances come and go. A place wholly under their influence, where the intangible becomes tangible. Like being inside your own mind.
But if we go in together, are we in each other's minds? Not so sure I like the sound of that.
Mimir, have you encountered these Norns?
Not personally. Freya's right. They have ways of discouraging visitation. Odin made his share of efforts. Wouldn't talk about what he found. Either he gave up, or he wanted to forget what he saw. Freya, you mind telling us what you experienced when you sought the Norns last time?
To be honest, the details are hazy. Like waking up from a dream. Mainly, I remember that nothing could be done to change my son's fate. It only made me more determined to try.
Brother, what of your story? You faced the fates of your homeland, yeah? The legends I heard about the ghost of Sparta were surely exaggerated.
Exaggerated?
Oh, not in the brazen bloodshed righteous fury part. The part where it said you travelled back in time itself to win a battle once lost. It's strange credulity, obviously. I mean, a rumour about Thor knocking the world serpent back in history from Ragnarok is one thing.
It is the truth. The threads of fate span all life and time. The Sisters of Fate abused their power. When I challenged them, they threatened to undo.
Something you need to do before we find the Norns.
You were saying... Sisters of Fate abused their power.
They did. So I killed them and turned their power on Zeus.
That's the most dangerous and irresponsible thing I've ever heard. These Norns have no such magic, nor does anyone in these realms that I've ever seen.
Aye, can you imagine? If it existed, Odin would have it. And if Odin had it, we'd be 5 shades more fucked than we are already.
I would not ask them to change the past, even if they could.
Brother,
Look,
That must be
win
Tyr's.
minds, not wars.
Tyr understood the greatest fight of them all was the battle for people's hearts and minds. Too bad Tyr has no interest in doing either these days. So to be clear, finding the Norns is not about altering events, yeah?
I only want information.
And that's quite dangerous enough, in my experience.
Freya, something your brother said. The Aesir burned him.
Yes. We weren't yet at war, but relations with the Vanir and Aesir had been hostile for ages.
I just hope the Norns are somewhere indoors, and warm. Safe to say, no, I have not missed Midgard and Fimbulwinter. Thank you.
We will see soon enough.
Behind you! Look out!
The way forward is magically...
The hilt of a sword.
Brother, I know that sword hilt. Tread carefully. You of all people know how weapons can carry ghosts.
If it does not help us find the Norns, it can wait.
Let's keep looking. This way. I feel a trace of their illusions here. I can try to dispel it.
Now's no time to wander off, brother. Freya's found something.
Oh, no. There's nothing here.
A false trail.
I'm afraid so. We'll have to see what else the wolves can find.
Typical Nornish mystic.
They know we're searching. I warned you they wouldn't make it easy.
And what's the hilt of a cursed king have to do with any of it?
Distraction? Coincidence? Who knows? I suppose they'd say we were fated to find it. Kratos, tell me more of your homeland.
It was violent, cruel.
Sounds no different from... these lands.
It was warmer.
More bloody Draugr. You got fire, Kratos. It will pass. Your shield, brother. Use it, yeah? Reminds me of tales of a cruel empress, one too angry to die.
We will see. What?
Earlier, if Atreus hadn't been there.
Perhaps.
We could go again. Find out for certain.
I would rather not.
Bet you wouldn't. The oarsmen. A monument of conquerors.
Made some lovely warships, though.
You won't believe it, Mummy. This crest belongs to Fjöturlund.
Fjöturlund, you say? Now that's where Sigrun was from. Right side! Watch out! Behind you, watch out!
So this outpost is what's left of Fjöturlund. Sigrun spoke of growing up with these people before she joined the Valkyries. Looks like there's a staircase on the other side. There must be another way around.
Iron peace, not a golden war.
Tyr used to talk about how heavy the cost of war was compared to its bounties. He felt like it was his responsibility to avoid it.
Kind of still does, in fact. Nasty hit! You alright, brother?
When you want to find the Norse, we'll return to the sleigh.
Freya, how was Sigrun when you saw her last?
She's still incorporeal, ever since Kratos set her free of her corrupted form. But she hasn't let that stop her from helping any way she can. The truth is, I owe her more than I can repay.
I doubt she'd see it that way. When we freed her, she could speak of little else but her reverence for you. Seeing you yourself again would surely be payment enough.
If you're ready to find the Norns, let's get back to your sled. Look, there's some debris over there. I'm guessing from Tyr's poor statue. Another gravestone. But this one's intact.
Aye, and with a keyhole tailor-made for the hilt we found. I was afraid of that.
Incoming fire!
Enemy behind you!
Impressive!
Enemy behind you!
Suspect that's all of them.
These were coal raiders.
Eating wolves. Atreus and I rescued ours from such an encampment.
That was kind of you. The coal raiders have been a blight to this land. The way they've abused its creatures. Perhaps we should do something about them.
Perhaps.
Up to you, brother. If the Norns know the future, no doubt they'll expect us to show up a bit late.
Defend the peace.
Well, I think that's the last of it. Doubtful we'll find any more interesting bits.
I always admired your love to inspire.
Where I come from, gods of war are not revered in such a way.
Not all gods of war are the same, brother.
No, they are not. Freya, how did your brother come to be burned by the Aesir?
Well, Freyr got it into his head that he could improve relations by sharing our magic with them. Vanir techniques for bountiful harvests, enough to feed their whole population. Getting set on fire was the thanks he got.
That's true. The Aesir were too undisciplined and impatient for the subtlety of Vanir spellcraft. So when things went wrong, they blamed their teacher.
So Freya was a guest when Odin burned him?
Not exactly. Odin didn't mind locking Freyr up. He saw the potential of the magic and wanted to know more than how to improve crop yields. It was a mob of lesser Aesir, bitter and short-sighted, who tied him up and lit him aflame as punishment for the sabotage they imagined him guilty of. Obviously, he survived. In fact, he used the opportunity to escape. But such an affront made war inevitable.
Hold. We will finish later.
Let's see. I feel something. In this direction.
Feel what exactly?
Another illusion. It's coming from this wall. The Norns are hiding something. Kratos, I feel the Norns over here. Are you ready? Open up. Nothing. Another dead end.
A trap!
That's all. You know, this search will only get more dangerous.
Then we keep looking.
Back to the wolves then.
What is up here?
I don't feel anything. It's not related to the Norns.
Could be interesting enough in its own right.
What's that outpost?
I've been studying, and I can forge some new equipment for you. Want something in particular? Ooh, a souvenir from foreign lands? Glad to take that off your hands. Wash it. And it's covered in blood. Thanks. Happy to lighten your load. Sure, this'll be of some use. Anything for Freya? Whatever you need, I'll create. Have we more to talk about?
Mimir, look. Another Fjotalund marking.
Aye, this place must have been part of Sigrun's kingdom. A first outpost preceding further expansion. Come on, brother! Arrows will help you! This mentions a spell that puts trolls to sleep, and a magic relic that acts as a sort of counterspell. Sad to see Sigurd's homeland in such a terrible state.
You know, Maria, if you want to live in this kingdom, you might not like everything you find.
This kingdom is in ruins, overrun by blood-crazed raider clans. I expect to not like a great many things we find here. You know, brother, Sigrun told me her kingdom housed a great treasury filled with the spoils of a family's conquests. Perhaps this outpost holds some of that treasure.
All she told you, Mimir?
Did she say where?
No, just that they kept it hidden.
Well done.
Perhaps those runes over there can shed some light. What? No, she never mentioned.
Is that a key?
Wonder what lock that key belongs to.
No lock. It is broken.
Not broken. It's just split in half. Perhaps we could find its partner.
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
Come on, brother! Arrows will help you!
Another friend. Mimir, what did those runes say?
Sigrun. She loved another. A king named Helgi. Seems they were madly in love. But her parents wouldn't let them marry.
Oh, come on. You really didn't think you were her first love, did you?
Aye. Suppose I did.
The wolves have picked up another track. Keep following their heads.
Either of you. What more is there to tell of Freyr being burned by the Aesir mob?
Well, Freyr certainly wasn't the same after that. At least for a while. His carefree ways were replaced with nightmares, paranoia, and lashing out. It doesn't excuse what he said about it. I do understand where his anger came from.
Freya, there's something I've always wanted to ask. What was it Hrimthur whispered to you?
Who?
Hrimthur, the son of Thormur, the stonemason, who disguised himself and built Asgard's wall.
Old. What is that?
Ragni the Zealous!
For the king! Guide me, my king! Guide me, my king!
Take it off, Bat! You've got this!
Join us!
Brother, I had a thought. What if we took a stealthy approach to our next battle?
No.
Freya, can't you remember anything about what Hrimthur the stonemason's son said to you after building Asgard's wall?
Oh, yes. One of the many occasions Odin saw fit to involve me in a wager without my consent. I wish I could say that was the worst of his husbandly habits.
What wager?
I've told this story, brother.
And now she may tell her own.
There isn't that much to tell. I knew nothing of it at first, surely because Odin didn't expect to lose the bet. A mysterious mason had to build the entire wall in 3 turns of the season.
2! It was 2!
And if he was late, he'd be owed nothing. But if he succeeded, he was promised an audience with the queen. Or so I learned one day when Odin burst into our bedchambers, raging and half-drunk before noon, telling me to get dressed and go see what the mason wants. So, off I went, not knowing what had truly been promised or expected. Dagger stashed in my robe for emergency.
Hold that thought. I think I hear something sizable. Getting back to your story, Freya. You were forced to grant an audience after the building of Asgard's wall, yeah?
That's right. And this mason, this giant in disguise,
His name was Hrimthur.
he just smiled to see me. And as you said, he whispered in my ear.
Hold. The wolves are distracted.
Watch out!
That is all of them. They still whine.
Poor thing. I can smell more danger.
The wolves fear that which can no longer hurt them.
The horrors of our past can be inextricable from the present. You have to understand that.
Getting back to your story, Freya. You granted an audience to Hrimthur after he finished building Asgard's wall. What at long last did he whisper to you?
Well,
Hold. I hear something large.
Getting back to your story, Freya. You granted an audience to Hrimthur after he finished building Asgard's wall. What at long last did he whisper to you?
well. He said the Aesir had killed his father, and he needed to know that one day they'd burn for it. I pointed out I was Aesir now too, technically. He gave me a look, as if he somehow knew better and continued. He said he'd built in a structural flaw behind the Asgard Realm Tower.
I knew it! How do we make use of it?
We don't. He said Surtur would know what to do. And if Surtur's approaching Asgard's wall...
And it is already Ragnarok.
Ah, blast it. I hoped it might have given us another way. On your right! Lost in my neck stump! Seems like old times. Oh, we used to travel through this temple constantly. But quick, how do you do to Brock? Then off on another adventure.
You miss it?
Aye. Everything felt simpler then.
Agreed.
The realm travel around. This place has seen better days.
Haven't we all?
Do you remember when I brought you and Atreus in here for the first time? Seems like lifetimes ago.
I do. And it was because of your guidance we were able to fulfill Faye's last wish. And yours as well, Mimir.
Mimir, I never asked how it felt to leave your head.
What would you have me say? That it tickled?
Merely curious.
If you wish to derive some satisfaction from my pain, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Kratos swung swift and true, didn't you, brother? I felt nary a scratch.
Shame. This is the place. We need to work our way up. This is... There. Can you cut a way through the ice?
Oh, are the Norns making magical ice walls now?
No. I think the water just froze.
More of your friends.
I didn't tell them.
Incoming fire!
I don't know what the Norns did to trick all these raiders into guarding.